Okay, hi, so I'm just going to show you real quick how I prepared my bike for cycling around Thailand. Definitely up and down the Doi Suthep and the Samong XL loop, so forth. So one of the first things I did was changed out the rear cassette, so that's a 4011 on the back. So that's running with a derailleur extender onto a Shimano Claris long cage derailleur. It does work well. You do need the extender to make it work. Without the extender, the chain will rub on the upper jockey wheel. The other big change that I would recommend is I'm running a 4630 FSA crankset on the front. If you could go lower, I would suggest definitely going lower. The 46, if I could get that down to a 40 or a 42, and a 36, if that could drop down even to a 28, that would be fantastic. This worked well on my KONA Rove because it has a clamp on front derailleur. If that's a braze-on, then you might run into difficulties getting the front derailleur to come down low enough to change the chain rings. The other big thing is I like running clipless pedals. I find it gives you a little bit more power. These are Shimano M535 mountain bike pedals. They work perfectly. Running them with Bond Ranger mountain bike shoes. These have worked really well, so it gives you enough comfort when you're walking around. Obviously got the rack on the back. It's an aluminium rack. Didn't run into any problems with the extra weight. And also be safe, be seen here in Thailand. It's very safe, but have the lights on, especially if you're in some of the smoggy areas. So I'm running 3 rear lights there. They're all USB chargeable. In the saddlebag, pump, spare tubes, spare patches, spare glue, lots of tyre levers, and reflective as well. That's a Brooks suspension saddle. This has worked perfectly well and is nice and comfortable on the longer rides. The other thing I'm wearing is having on the bike is a tank bag. This works really well for just having your phone in on the top here, or if you're running a solar panel like I was to charge your equipment. The only thing is if you run your phone in here, it's direct. It's in direct view of the sun, and it will heat up very quickly, especially if it's an iPhone, and then it will turn itself off. This worked really well. So you've got lots of space in there to put your bits and pieces. My only criticism with this is when you're cycling along, you have to unzip it around to get into it. Whereas if it was a zip down the front, obviously you lose the ability to put something in the top, but that would be more convenient. So just have a think what you're going to use it for. The other big thing is the Crudcatcher Mark III fenders and mudguards. These work seamlessly well. They're super easy to fit on, and it just saves all that spray going up your back and also on the front. Sometimes the roads, they're super smooth here, but sometimes there is a lot of muck and dust and debris on it, and it just saves all your components and you as well. I use a little mirror. This has been invaluable for just seeing some of the big song towers, big trucks coming up behind you. You don't always hear them. So the mirror has worked really well. I run Physique bar tape. This is a cork type of bar tape, and it's worked really well. It's nice because if it does get sweaty, it absorbs it and then it dries out overnight. I found personally running another layer of bar tape, especially around here underneath, just to give it that little bit extra padding, worked really well. Or running gel pads under here, but do play around with where you're going to fit it, where your hand will fit. My big gripe with these brake shifters on the Shimano Claris is around about here the shifter ends, and then there's a gap between the shifter body and the bar. So it's right where this point on your hand, the pisiform part here, sits as you're riding along with a hood, and after in a very short period of time you end up with numb hands and tingles into these 2 last digits. So what I did was padded it out here just a little bit extra, you can probably see it, and no problems, and notified Shimano and KONA about the poor design. The other thing is running a big strong rechargeable light at the front. I've also got a Blackburn one underneath there as a backup. These work really well, and again you can charge them on the fly to your solar panel. And then I run the Wahoo element up here that works seamlessly well, and it's really nice bit of information to show you how much feet climbing you're doing, how many calories an hour you're burning, because you'll be shocked at how much calories you'll burn climbing up and down some of these mountains. It works really well with a KONA GPS on your phone. The only thing that I found was the KONA bicycle GPS app doesn't allow you to sync the route to the Wahoo app. You have to go into KONA on your desktop computer, on your browser, and transmit it from there. Then it works perfectly well. But if you try and do it from the app, it doesn't work. Tires, these were not anything special as far as I know. They were already on the bike when I got them. They are, where are they? I can't remember what they're called. Oh yeah, there we go. They're Schwalbe Delta Cruiser Pluses. These are 700 by 32. They have a decent tread on them. They've lasted really well. I only had the one puncture the whole time I was here in Thailand. My only again criticism was these disc brakes. These are not the ice version, so on some of the descents they heat up really quickly and the braking performance suffers, but generally they were not too bad. If you had the option, I would get the ice brakes fitted. It's another level up on the bike, or better yet, have rimless, and then you can uncouple the brake as you're going up, so there's no rubbing at all, and then apply the brake when you're coming back down. Anyway, that was just my little video, and I found this stuff very helpful from piecing it all together from other people who would like to pass it on. Anyway, best of luck.